Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. This is the Bodega Cat Book Club Health Edition. And today we're continuing our reading of Your Body's Many Cries for Water by I call him Dr. B. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Dr. B, MD. And the subtitle rather, is You Are Not Sick, You're Thirsty. Don't treat thirst with medication. Okay, let's get right to it. I hope you're enjoying this book. This will be chapter 2 and we'll be reading part 2. So, ah, okay. Okay, we started this chapter or this episode with an abstract form. Wow, interesting. I don't know if I want to read the whole thing, but maybe I'll just read the highlights. Okay, so in the meantime, you guys can check out our other book clubs. We have the spiritual book clubs on Mondays and then financial book clubs on Thursdays. We have a monthly newsletter that we put out, so sign up for that. And occasional podcasts. And actually, we're going to have a new one coming out, a new podcast episode coming out pretty soon. So you could check all that out on our website. If you like what we're doing, support us with our merch and check out our YouTube channel. If you are local in the Los Angeles area, come visit us in person in our healing center. We use technologies that is based on Nikola Tesla's work on scalar waves for holistic healing. So check that out. I have information about that on the website as well. Okay, so let's take a look at this abstract form. And I think I said this is chapter 2, part 2. So I'm just going to move the camera in, oops, a little bit here. So let's see, this abstract is about, okay, up here it says Third Interscience World Conference on Inflammation, Anti-Rheumatics, Analgesics, Immunomodulators. And this is the abstract form. So the abstracts, if I remember the scientific writings correctly, um, the abstract is like a summary of what the research is about, some of the findings and things like that. So the title of this abstract is called Neurotransmitter Histamine, an Alternative Viewpoint, and it was written by the author. And here you have a handwritten little thing here that says book. Your Body's Many Cries for Water is based on their something information on the water regulatory functioning literature, something like that. And this was published in, the deadline was January 30th, 1989, and it was published. Okay. Well, you guys can check it out if you want to read the whole thing. I'm sure you could find it somewhere on YouTube. I mean, I'm sorry, on Google. Hmm. Okay. Interesting. All right. The fastest way to fall asleep is to read scientific materials. Unless you're a science nerd, which I am not. So, anyways. All right, let's do it. Products manufactured in the brain cells are transported to their destination within the nerves in different parts of the body on waterways. Nerve cells are said to be 85% water, and there seem to exist small waterways or microstreams along the length of nerves from these cells that float the packaged materials along guidelines called microtubules. Figure 3. We'll look into that a little bit later. These products are taken to the nerve endings of their respective cells for use in the brain's communication system in the entire body. When the body is hydrated, a rationing and distribution system for the available water in the body becomes operative according to a predetermined priority system, a form of drought management. It is scientifically clear that the histamine-directed and operated neurotransmitter system becomes active and initiates the subordinate systems that promote water intake by triggering the thirst signals of the body. These subordinate systems also redistribute the amount of water in circulation, or that can be drawn away from other areas. The subordinate systems employ vasopressin, renin-angiotensin, prostaglandins, and kinins as intermediary agents. Since the body does not have a reserve of water to draw on, it operates a priority distribution system for the amount of water it has available. In amphibians, it has been shown that histamine reserves and their rate of generation are at minimal levels. In this species, histamine generation becomes established and gets pronounced whenever the animal is dehydrated. A proportionate increase in the production rate and storage of the neurotransmitter histamine for rationing the available water in hydrated animals, drought management becomes established. Histamine and its subordinate water intake and distribution regulators, prostaglandins, kinins, and PAF, another histamine associated agent, also cause pain when they come across pain sensing nerves in the body. The above view shift in medical science establishes two major points that have been disregarded until now. One, the body can become dehydrated as we age. At the same time, it discards dry mouth as the only indicator of body thirst. Two, when histamine and its subordinate water regulators become excessively active to the point of causing allergies, asthma, and chronic pains in different parts of the body, these symptoms and pain should be translated as crises, signals of water shortage in the body, emergency thirst signals. This paradigm shift now makes it possible to recognize many different associated signals of general or local body dehydration and label them for what they are, not diseases, but simply states of dehydration. Okay, let's look at figure 3 that he talked about. So let me move the camera back a little bit so you could see the whole page. Yeah, it's a little too far. Okay. All right, let's break it down. Okay, I'll do that after. Okay, so this is figure 3. This is a schematic presentation of a single nerve fiber and the waterway system of transport along the line of microtubes that act as drainage pipes and create areas of lower viscosity by drawing water from the surrounding areas. So here's a little picture of what the author is talking about, the nerve water transport system in the body. So this is a nerve cut across. This is kind of what it looks like. A typical telephone cable, in quotes, single nerve fibers. Now, this is a single nerve. So I guess this is a larger picture of these little ones here. And these are little microtubes. These are areas of water drainage, areas of lower viscosity around microtubes, and then neurotransmitter vesicles. So these are the transporter protein, which is called the neurotransmitter vesicles, the monorail microtube that drains the water in its vicinity. So you could think of it like a little drainage pipe, right, where the water goes through. Interesting. Hmm. right. Okay, pain. Cries of thirst. The adoption of the view shift or new paradigm dictates that chronic pains of the body that cannot be easily explained as injury or infection should first and foremost be interpreted as signals of chronic water shortage in the area where pain is registered, a local thirst. These pain signals should be first considered and excluded as primary indicators for dehydration of the body before any other complicated procedures are forced on the patient. Non-infectious, recurring, or chronic pain should be viewed as indicators of body thirst. Pain is a sensation that denotes local chemical changes in the area around the nerves that monitor the acid-alkaline balance. The mechanism is designed to safeguard against a buildup of excess acid from metabolism that could burn and eat into the cell membranes and in the inner structures of the cells in the area. When water is not available to wash the acidic, toxic waste of metabolism, the nerve endings sense the change and report it to the brain's pain centers. Up to a point, the brain suppresses the sensation to let the corrective processes silently deal with the problem. There comes a time when that silence has to be broken, and the conscious mind warned of the water shortage. When the significance of pain as an emergency thirst signal is not recognized, the intensity of pain increases until movement and mobility of the area is affected to prevent the production of additional toxic waste. Okay, so there is a figure 4. We'll kind of look at that a little bit. This is dehydration and some chronic pains, water shortage and rationing. The brain regulator general, histamine. Almost all pain medications cut this connection. Subordinate regulators, prostaglandins or kinins, signal pain. Water rationing signal. Dyspepsia, which is heartburn, rheumatoid pain, back pain, anginal pain, which is the heart, headaches, leg pain on walking. So this figure talks about the two components in the sensation of pain. One is local and the other is central nervous system registered. At an early phase, the locally registered pain can be alleviated with painkillers. After a certain threshold is reached, the pain becomes the direct center for monitoring its perpetuation until hydration of the body takes place. And let me move the camera out just a little bit so you guys can see the whole picture here. There you go. Interesting how he says that all pain medications cut this connection here so that the brain isn't registered, right? So the information of that pain isn't registered to the brain. Interesting, right? Okay. Let's move the camera back a little bit. Oh, so you guys can see here better. Okay. Not recognizing the phenomenon of pain for what it is, a sophisticated localized thirst signal of the body, undoubtedly produces complicated problems when treating these conditions. It is all too easy to assume these signals to be complications of serious disease processes and to treat them with toxic chemicals and complicated procedures. Although water by itself will alleviate the conditions, medications or invasive diagnostic procedures may be forced on the person. It is the responsibility of both patients and their doctors to be aware of the damage that chronic dehydration can cause in the human body. The pains of dehydration include dyspeptic pain, rheumatoid arthritis pain, anginal pain, heart pain on walking or even at rest, low back pain, intermittent claudication pain, which is leg pain on the walking, migraine and hangover headaches, colitis pain and its associated constipation, and false appendicitis pain. This new paradigm dictates that these pains should be treated with the regular adjustment to daily water intake. No less than 2.5 quarts, which is 2.5 liters in 24 hours, should be taken for a few days prior to the regular use of analgesics or other pain relieving medications, such as antihistamines or antacids, well before permanent local or general damage can establish and reach an irreversible disease status. If the problem has persisted for many years, those who wish to test the pain relieving property of water should make sure their kidneys can make sufficient urine so that they do not retain too much water in the body. Urine output should be measured against water intake. With increase in water intake, urine output should also increase. This new understanding of the physiology of pain production in dehydration will shed light on complicated disease conditions in future medical research. It will expose, as detrimental to the body, the long-term use of pain medications, analgesics, so silencing a cardinal signal of chronic and localized dehydration of the body. Analgesics can cause fatal side effects. Apart from the damage that is caused by the ongoing dehydration that is temporarily silenced without removing the root cause of these pains, dehydration. Often, these analgesics cause gastrointestinal bleeding. A few thousand people die every year from this complication of frequent analgesic intake. Excuse me. Over-the-counter painkillers can, in some people, cause liver and kidney damage and act as people killers. Yeah, like Tylenol. Tylenol is very bad for the liver, or maybe it was the kidney, or one of them, or both of them. And what's the other one? Advil. I think it's bad for the kidney. I don't remember. But anyways, that's why people can overdose on Tylenol. Okay, the scientific background for the above views is available to scientists in pain research. This book is intended to brush aside the professional resistance of the AMA, which is the American Medical Association, and the NIH, which is the National Institute of Health, which are aware of my findings and have, contrary to their oath and obligations to society, refused to propagate it to the ultimate benefit of the public. Yeah, because water doesn't make any money. The view shift on the role of water in the body can work wonders in the future practice of clinical medicine, which is why these professional bodies who gain financially from the perpetuation of their former ignorance have not engaged in the dissemination of information about the problems associated with lack of sufficient water in the human body. Yeah, and a lot of these um no, sorry, not companies, organizations like the AMA and NIH, they're funded by the pharmaceutical companies. The moment medical professionals adopt this paradigm shift, the present form of ignorance of the human body-based medical practice will transform to a thoughtful preventive approach to healthcare. Yeah, when that happens, 80% of these organizations will go bankrupt, will go away. More importantly, simple physiology-based cures to early disease emergence will become available well before irreversible pathology can establish. End of chapter 2. Wow, I gotta drink more water. That's one of the things I need to work on. I'm not a big water drinker. I'm more of a tea drinker. I used to drink black tea, but recently I've been kind of under the weather, so I've been drinking a lot of green tea, but it's still tea. So anyways, there's always room for improvement, isn't it? Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. And we'll continue next week of our reading of water. And let us know in the comments below whether you guys have picked up any habits, change any habits regarding water, if it works, if it doesn't, um, and tell us how it goes. So anyways, I hope you guys all have a great day and we will see you next time. Bye bye now.